I recently spent some time visiting relatives who live in a beautiful resort-style community in South Florida. The weather was warm and sunny. It was quite a contrast from where I live in New England. In fact, I had escaped a snowstorm during my visit. The resort had pretty much everything you'd expect. Perfect landscaping, palm trees, an opulent clubhouse, excellent food. It really felt like resort living year-round. I was curious about the fees, and a relative told me that the HOA fees and annual assessment totaled about $16,000 a year. Now, for many of the residents there, a lifestyle like that is financially feasible. Most likely have a net worth of $3 million dollars or more, so they can afford it. But as I walked around, I kept coming back to a different question. It wasn't about the cost, it was, will this lifestyle actually achieve the desired goal of happiness? The value proposition of these communities is simple. If you live in a perfectly maintained, curated environment, you'll be happy. And judging by how popular these places are, that is true for a lot of folks. But I think it's worth looking closer at what we're actually buying. These developments are engineered to project happiness by offering total comfort, controlled environment, predictable routines, and perfect weather. It sends a message that says, if you live here, you will finally be relaxed and satisfied. The problem is that comfort and happiness are not the same thing. Comfort is the absence of friction, but fulfillment often requires friction. When I talk about friction, I don't mean hardship or financial stress. I mean the presence of life pushing back at you a bit. Friction is having a conversation with someone who thinks differently than you do. It's using public spaces you share rather than control. It's the challenge of learning something new or navigating a new system that isn't perfect. Friction keeps you awake. It prevents stagnation. An environment designed to eliminate all friction might also eliminate your growth. And when growth disappears, comfort can very quickly turn into dullness. As an investor, the first thing I ask about any financial decision is whether it creates an unacceptable risk. If we look at the math for a $3 million net worth, a typical 4% withdrawal rate gives us about $120,000 a year. That $16,000 HOA and assessment fee works out to about 13% of your annual income. Now that's manageable, but it is an allocation choice. Every recurring cost in retirement is a vote for the life you want to sustain. High fixed costs reduce your flexibility. They make you more dependent on a stable market and stable health. They quietly lock you into a specific place that you may grow tired of. There's also significant market risk to consider. If you bought into a community like this 10 years ago, you'd probably be very happy with your return on investment today. But buying in at today's prices, that could be a different story. Florida real estate is known for dramatic cycles. If you buy at the peak and prices drop significantly, you could find yourself in both a financial and emotional trap. You become locked in. If the environment stops nourishing you or you simply grow tired of the same scenery every day, you can't just walk away. You would have to realize a massive financial loss to regain your freedom. At that point, your lifestyle isn't just an expense, it's a commitment that you can't easily undo. I spent part of my childhood in Florida. My father loved it there, but it took me decades to realize that what I value is actually different. This trip really made it clear to me, even though I could afford that lifestyle, it wouldn't align with what brings me joy. Coming back to New England felt good, even with the recent snow we've had. So that realization wasn't really about Florida. It was about alignment, and that alignment is going to look different for each of us. Most of us spend 40 years accumulating. We save, we invest, we optimize. But at some point, the accumulation has to become secondary to a harder question. What is this money for? Money is a great vehicle for freedom. It can buy security, convenience, and a better climate, but it can't manufacture vitality. Vitality comes from engagement, curiosity, and relationships. Those things aren't behind a gated community. So before you commit to a lifestyle, ask yourself, is this environment expanding my life or is it just insulating me from it? Financial independence is only the beginning. The real goal is a life well lived. What are your thoughts? How important is a change of location to your happiness in retirement? If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It really helps this channel grow and reach others who may also be interested in topics like this. Thanks so much for watching.